three signs a stock is about to 10x?
One, for me, they have a competitive advantage in a niche market that no one else is great at, and they have 90% market share. So if it's a company who operates really well in the space, and when you think of that sector, they have 90% of market share, that's a great sign. Number two, they're consistently doing like revenues compounding 25% to 50% year over year. And three, inside ownership is incredibly high. You can go to Yahoo Finance or CNBC and type in a stock, but if the inside ownership is not high, there's a reason why. Like when we went to NVIDIA, we had the fortune of meeting one of the founders, still holding on to some of the shares. Of course, he's cashed out to some, but when I see a company CEO is actively selling a bunch of shares all the time, there's a reason why, and I like for the institutional ownership to be high, but they have to dominate a niche market, kind of like how NVIDIA did with gaming, AMD did with gaming, Apple did in the computer space, the music space. Then from there, they'll grow. That's incredibly important to me. So those are like the 3 or 4 key metrics or KPIs I look at to know if a stock is going to 10x over the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, all phenomenal. I think that demand piece is important. Having a creative advantage in the space, having a moat. I think having that moat, especially in your sector, it changes it, right? And when I think about the memory story, that is exactly what it is, right? If we understand that every GPU, CPU, TPU is going to need memory, well, then they have a competitive advantage because they're going to be essential to the growth of the AI story. And so what happens? Supply goes up, right? But demand becomes even greater than the supply. And that will show you, okay, we're going to see some relative strong tailwinds of growth in the near future, but there'll be a few, 1 or 2, that will be here for the long term. And so when you start to see demand, right, for a specific company or a specific task that a company does, and they have a moat around that space, man, those are all solid signs of something that's about to go.
And even to your point, SanDisk, and you can argue Micron, they focused solely on their space so well that when this AI inflection point came, they were prepared. They have been prepared for years. And shout out to all the creators that use SanDisk and Seagate and all like that entire class. Yeah. But they were prepped by dominating a niche first, and then all those inflection points came after. Rashad, what about you?
Look to see who's at the White House.
See the CEOs.
You know what? It's not a bad take. And especially these last 12 years, it is a great insight for sure.
Yeah, governmental policy. Sure. Yeah, I think just to back to what you were saying about the SanDisk piece, I think they're opening up space for other companies because what they've done is actually, they've focused on the AI segment. But even like a Micron who has focused on AI and focused on data centers, they've left a little bit of this telecommunications portion of their business and said, all right, well, somebody else can do that because we're focused.
Yeah, we don't even want that. Yep.
Right. So there'll be companies who come in, whether it's for automotives or if it like I said, it's for tablets or computers. Somebody's going to come in with that drum technology and say, hey, I know those guys are thinking about the big hyperscalers of the world, but we're here for the little people, right? We're here for that startup company who needs that type of functioning for their memory. Somebody's going to be birthed out of that.
Rashad, what you be looking at when you look at the White House thing? Because the way you laughed, I'm like,
nah, I mean, like I said,
boy made from coin.
The thing about Trump is that he's cutting deals left and right, and
for sure,
he's definitely not hiding who's he partial to. Let's just say that. So I feel like a lot of CEOs have tried to get friendly with him, but there's a few sectors and there's a few industries that have had direct lines of communication with the administration, and it's obvious. Mm-hmm. And even if you look at Palantir, I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah,
from a variety of different standpoints, their line of communication with the government and the government's dependency on their technology and what they've actually already implemented from both administrations.
You saw the full force yesterday.
Susan Rice said, "Yo, be mindful of those people." Right?
He said Susan Rice needs to be fired immediately or pay the consequences. He told Netflix
get rid of her
or pay the consequences.
That's crazy.
That's tough.
She said, be mindful of the people who go visit the White House and the CEOs who cater to everything that the administration says. And he said, look, Netflix, get her off your board or face the consequences, which is in line with what we already kind of envisioned, right? Mm-hmm. Like the Ellison family, close friends of his, David Ellison is part of the Paramount Group. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Paramount is in position to get Warner Brothers. It's signs to point to that. I know Netflix kind of conceded a little bit, saying like, oh, go ahead. If y'all want to put another offer in, and let's see what happens. But putting Susan Rice out there is just crazy, man. It's crazy.
We also never seen somebody that was just so forward facing as far as telling companies what to do and like, you know, he's publicly, people have done that in the past behind closed doors, but
it was quiet.
He did it on social media, and he has done it on social media a variety of different times. So he's meddling in private companies' affairs publicly, and he's also threatening private companies publicly.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, after the tariffs, you know, Supreme Court had the ruling, when he got up and spoke he said, look, we saved Intel. There wouldn't even be a TSM, right? If they didn't steal our technology to go to Taiwan. Right, but we're going to bring that all back. Like he's saying, like look, Intel is going to make it because we say it is. Like this is, I mean,
State of the Union, I think is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yep, it's tomorrow. So let's see if he thinks the complicit Supreme Court justices will be in there.
They're going to be there.
But, interesting times.
We'll talk about it on Blackout
for sure.
Crazy times.
Crazy times, man.
Anything that deflect the attention.
Well, we know
that was my first thought yesterday.
I think you had that conversation, Charlie. I'm like, yo, they're gonna try to divert the attention with anything possible, right? It's the tariffs. 2 days ago was, yo, we're gonna release the UFO files. I'm like, who cares about it?
Yeah, like, nobody cares about the UFOs anymore.
What are we talking about?
People barely moved when Obama admitted on the podcast that they're real. People don't care at all. You know how bad the economy has to be for people to not even care about aliens being real?
Oh my gosh. That's real out here, man. There's a war going on outside.
No man is safe from.
That's a fact.
It don't matter if you're 3 feet or 8'1".
That's a fact.